Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Today we are going to talk about ways in which you can save money for traveling. If I'm going to be completely honest, I am like a natural born saver. I don't know where it came from. I think it was like instilled in me by my parents a long time ago, but I have been doing this for as long as I can possibly remember. It wasn't until I realized that my boyfriend Ara, who was working in Ireland at the time, was earning a really good income, but at the end of the month had nothing left over. And the problem was that he just couldn't figure out where he was actually spending all this money. That's when I realized that saving money is actually a skill, and it's a skill that you can learn. Thank God. It might not feel like it right now, but you can, so don't worry. The number one thing that you guys need to do to start saving your money is to set up a savings account. Now I know this sounds hella boring, but the truth is that this is how I managed to save up enough money to go traveling. Let's just say, for example, you're earning €1,000 a month. If you can, try and put maybe 200, 300 euro of that money into a savings account automatically. You don't even need to think about it, because when you are paid into your account, it's taken out every single month. You don't want to have to worry about this at all. So make sure you set it up as an automatic transaction. Once that money is taken out of your normal day-to-day current account, you're going to find that you're not really thinking about it, and chances are you're not really missing it. And each month, bit by bit by bit by bit, it's slowly building up and building up and building up. Then when the time comes to go on your big trip, that's when you can delve into your savings and blow it all. The next tip that I have for you guys is to track where your money is being spent. So like I said, with Arwa, at the end of the month, he was just left over with nothing, but he had no idea where this money was going. So what he did was he sat down, dived into his bank account statement, and just figured out exactly what he was spending his money on. He had all the usual spending, like the gym, Netflix, Spotify, all that jazz. But one thing that he noticed was taking up actually the majority of his spending was the likes of alcohol and coffee and all those those items that you don't really think about on a day-to-day basis. They were the ones that were taking up a huge amount of his money. Once he discovered this, he was able to monitor how much money he was spending on coffee, how much alcohol he was buying, and he was also able to cancel these kind of recurring fees that come in every single month that you don't really think about. It's all about tracking where your money is going and just knowing what you're spending that cash on, because so many of us are kind of just like, yeah, take my dollar bills. Once you know where the money is going, then and only then can you keep an eye on all of that spending. Tip number 3 is one of my personal favorites. Now this takes a little bit of willpower, but once you get into the hang of it, once it becomes a bit of a habit, you are gonna find that you're saying no to a lot of things that you would have been saying yes to. Anytime that I walk into a shop, I ask myself one question. Let's say I pick something up like a dress, or I pick up 2 bottles of wine instead of 1, like whatever it is. No matter what I pick up, I ask myself the question, do I wanna buy this, or do I wanna buy a caipirinha on Copacabana while I'm in Brazil? Are you calling me, Oscar? I'm dead on the way back. You're in the video. You close the door behind you? Thank you. Now, where was I? This is the joys about being back in my family home in Ireland. No peace and quiet. So yes, I ask myself this question every single time I pick anything up, and the answer to that question is always, of course I want to have caipirinhas on Copacabana when I get to Brazil, obviously. So whatever it is, put it back. If you don't need it, don't buy it. And that kind of brings me on to my next tip, which is something you guys probably aren't gonna want to hear. If you are serious about saving money for that big trip, you have got to pay more attention to how much you're going out, how much you're shopping, how much you're drinking in bars and nightclubs and stuff like that. I know nobody wants to hear this tip, but it's the truth. When I was saving money for my last trip, I noticed just how often my friends like to go out and drink. I only noticed because I was the person who had to say no a couple of times. It's actually crazy the amount of money you spend when you go out drinking. If you think about this, if you're going out on a bit of a mad one, how many drinks do you think you're going to consume that night? In Ireland, you're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 euro, even up to 15 euro if you're drinking cocktails for each one of those drinks. Then, of course, when you're drunk, you're gonna go out, you're gonna get a takeaway, you're gonna have a sloppy kebab at the end of the night, and then let's not even begin to talk about the cost of taxis to get home. If you can eliminate that cost, you have just saved yourself a bloody fortune. I limited myself to go out maybe once or twice a month maximum. And honestly, that is one of the main reasons why I could travel. Honestly, I know so many people who want to travel the world who say that they don't have enough money for it. The truth is, it's because you're spending money on things that you don't need, and you're overspending on nights out. And the more you spend now, the further away your dreams of traveling are gonna be. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I have another trick, and it's kind of a weird one, and we're not talking that it's gonna save you like hundreds or thousands of euro or anything like that, but it is a good way to save money. I haven't heard of anybody else doing this, but anyway, I call it the change trick. I'm one of those people who likes to have cash on me at all times. Let me just show you my wallet right now. Just a couple of €5 notes rolled up in my purse right now. When I go into a shop or I'm paying for anything, I will give them my notes, and any change that they give me in return, I never spend that change. I just put it into like a big money box. I had this big huge box of Maltesers that I got for Christmas, and I basically filled up the whole box with random coins that I had gotten throughout the year. I know it might not sound like much, but you'd be surprised as to how much change you can build up over the space of like a few months or a year. I think when I counted it before I went away, I ended up saving like €180. And hey, €180, that could be a month's worth of hostels in Asia, you know what I mean? So again, it's kind of weird, it's kind of funny. If you don't like having cash on you, it's not gonna work. But if you're like me, try to keep all of the change that people give you. It is all gonna add up. Okay guys, moving on to my next tip. This is another kind of funny one that not many people think of, and this all kind of comes back to budgeting. I'll probably make another video talking specifically about budgets in the future, but this is kind of a nice, easy way into budgeting. So basically all you have to do, sit down with a pen and paper, okay? Write out a list of things that you usually spend your money on. Accommodation, transportation, coffees, alcohol, luxuries like the gym and the cinema and whatever else. Now, start to make a budget as to how much you want to spend on these things each month. You're gonna know that your accommodation is €500 per month. You're gonna know that your gym costs you €30 per month, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to things like food and luxuries like drinking and going out to cinema, give yourself a set amount of money. When you have worked out your budget plan, go to the ATM, take out the exact amount of cash that you're gonna need for the month. Literally add it up, €500 for that, €30 for this. You're gonna give yourself €80 for luxuries throughout the month. Take the exact amount of money out of it. Once again, take the exact amount of money out of the ATM, and when you get home, separate it into envelopes. Kind of a funny one, kind of weird. You should have one envelope for each thing. And once the money is gone from that envelope, you don't have any more money to spend on that thing in that month. Once your alcohol envelope is empty for the month, there is nothing you can do about it. You have spent your budget on alcohol for the month. You cannot spend anything else. Might seem a little bit strict to some people, but trust me, it works. It gives you the opportunity to see how much money you have for each thing, and it also allows you to control how much money you're spending on different things each month. The last thing that I'm going to say about saving money is that it absolutely is a habit. If you can start using some of these tips to save your money, you are going to create new habits in your life, and it's just going to become an automatic thing. I promise you, it works. If you have used any of these tips, please let me know. And if you have any more recommendations, because I am always looking for new ways to save money, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to find out more ways that you can actually make money, make sure to check out my last video. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. Guys, I hope this helps in some way, shape or form. I think the most practical one is probably just setting up the automatic transfer into a savings account, but there are just some other tips and tricks that I've tried along the way that really worked for me as well. I will see you guys again very, very, very soon. Beijing!